Hello and welcome to the video. This is a guide for Landrover Freelander 1s from roughly the year 2000 to 2006. It's applicable for vehicles that have this type of key fob and key, and this is going to cover programming remote fobs and cloning an original key using an Autel KM100. This is the Autel here. These are the keys that we're going to be dealing with. This is the original key, so of course the remote on that one works. These are two fobs that I'm going to add on, which of course they don't work. This is the key at the end that I've just cut myself. So I'm aiming to program both of these fobs, and I'm aiming to clone this key onto this key. So you can see clearly the fobs don't work. I'm just going to take my ignition key and just show you that it does not start the car. So what we're going to be doing in this, I think what we'll cover first is we'll deal with the remote fobs. I believe when you program the fobs to these that you can't just add one on, and at any time that you're programming fobs you should program them all. So first of all, turn the ignition on. I have the KM100 booted up, the Wi-Fi hotspot is ready, and the wireless VCI, the wireless VCI is plugged into the OBD2 port. So first thing we need to do is connect up to the vehicle, so we go into Immobilizer. We need to go selecting the brand first, so find Landrover software. This is connected to the internet, it needs the internet to do these kinds of functions. First we have to build now a vehicle profile, so I'm going to opt for manual selection. You can read the VIN, but it's not actually that quick, you're actually faster to build the profile yourself. Select Freelander 1 and up to 2007 blade key. That's our profile, so we hit yes. Now we go to control unit, remote system, remote control learning. The KM100 is going to connect to the Immobilizer module now, or the remote system module, it might be separate, wherever the key info is stored, and the remote info. We'll have to program each one of these in one at a time, quite simply following the on-screen instructions once we get this thing connected. This is why I prefer to do the manual selection, because the computers in these cars are not particularly the fastest. Okay, press the unlock button on the remote control 8 times. So we'll start with the one that's in here. 6, 7, there we go, that's the first one. Learning successful. Do you want to learn the next one? Yes. Press it 8 times. So we'll take this first one here. That's that one done. Learning successful. Yes, we'll do the last one. And that's the last one done. Learning successful. So no more, we've done 3, that's them all, so we hit no. There you go, the total number of learned remote controls for the car is 3. So if there was a previous other old second key, its remote no longer works. Okay, so we come back from there. In fact, we're going to exit the Immobilizer system altogether. You want to do that? Okay. Okay. Now, next thing we're going to do is we're going to clone the key. So we're going to go into reading and cloning. And now it's going to want us to place the transponder in a slot and read the key. Okay, so what we do is take the original key out of the ignition. I'm going to place it into the slot here, into the key slot so it can be read. And then we're going to, let me get some focus, stupid phone, reading. might show my transponder ID. It does, so I'll turn you away just for a second. Okay, it reads that, no problem. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to now clone. Now these ID46 chips have a password on them, and that password has to be broken. So we select 46 ID chip and then 46 password calculation. There we go. So now to clone the key, we first need to read the original slot. So okay, we start by reading the key again. Okay, now it has to do what's called signal acquisition. So there is a little antenna. Let me just pop my key in the ignition because I don't really want to reveal my keyblade. There's a little antenna right here at the top of the machine, and that can sniff out data when the data is passed in between the key and the coil. So to acquire the data, it's going to ask us to turn the ignition on and off whilst putting the little antenna really as close as possible to the ignition key and the coil. So what I'm going to do is pop you over here. It's getting dark now, I'm afraid, and it's getting dark quickly, so I'll try and get this while it can still be kind of seen. The screen's bright on the machine, so it'll help you to see a little bit of what's going on. So you can see I've got the antenna here butted up between the key and the coil, key, coil, antenna, and we're going to put my hand down here and flick the key. Oh, sorry, need to hit next on the screen first. Now, here we go, flip the key on, flip the key off, flip the key on, flip the key off, flip the key on, there we go. So it has successfully acquired the signal. So now it wants me to place the original key back in the key slot. So we're going to take my original key out of the ignition and I'm going to pop it into the key slot. Sorry, I have to hide my keyboard because I don't really want to share it. There we go, that should work. Right, key is back in the key slot, and what we do now is we hit next. Now it's going to calculate the password, and I don't particularly want to reveal my password. So what it's doing is it takes the data that it sniffed from the key, it goes online to the server, it calculates the vehicle's key password. There we go, that's my password, came up on the screen. I'll hit OK. There we go. Now it says that the calculation has been performed successfully. So it performs the calculation, it then queries and checks it, and once it's confirmed that it's right, this little message pops up. And now it's saying to place the original key in the key slot and press OK to read its information. So the key is still in the slot, so we hit OK. Now it's telling us to take the original key out, so I'll whip that out of there. And we'll take the new key, and I'll try and put it in without knocking the machine over. Put the new key into the slot, like so. Hopefully that's close enough to read.
Cloning completed.
There we go, cloning completed. I'm going to run that one more time.
Cloning completed.
There we go, and that's it complete. So we'll hit complete because we're not doing any more of them. If you did want to clone more keys, you would simply press the continue button, and every time you did that, it would do another set of keys. So let's test out this new key and see if it actually works. Just going to turn you away, keep my keyblade information safe, and I will get the camera. I'm going to use the KM100 to light the key up a little bit so that you can see that that is the aftermarket key, the one that I cut myself. And we're gonna see, does it now start the car? That would be a yes. I really need to change the injectors in this thing. So there we go, that is key cloning Freelander 1 complete. The fobs are programmed, the keys are programmed, I've got everything programmed up now, and the extra fob that I did is because I have another blank key coming. and when that blank key arrives, I'm going to file it again myself, and I will add it to this fob, and I'll probably just clone either one of these keys again onto that one. So that's the tutorial guide complete. Using the Autel KM100, I've done all the fobs and the keys. This is a machine that has no subscription, so it's a great option. Thank you.